Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Monty, and Happy New Year from the Truckee. I was up here getting my non-resident California license at Cabela's, so I figured I'd drive up and see what the snow's like at Boca Reservoir. I got stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and it took me a half hour to go like 6 miles, so I got off on Farad, turned around, and was able to find a way to pull off into this area where there's a big dirt turnout, and I'm going to do my best to fish down there. I can already see there's ice floating in the river. It's going to be a mess, and I'm going to have to look for places where I can stand, and I know there's something under where I'm standing. Falling in the water today might be a real thing, so I'm glad I got to change of clothes. I'm just fishing regular dark gray barbless crappie jigs. This time of year, it's all barbless catch and release. It's cold enough where it's a high of around 32 today. So I'm hoping if I catch something, it's big enough where I don't care if I get my hands wet or not. Part of my reason to come up here was mainly just to see how much snow, because so much snow's been falling. And man, there's a lot of snow. And I can see ice on the edge of the river, but I'm gonna make some casts. The river looks a lot clearer up here than it does out east. I was fishing for my Patreon, Wilderness with Monty Patreon. Last week was the only fishing I did, and the river was so stained, I just gave up after an entire day of just catching nothing. So I'm just using this regular crappie jig, barbless, and I'm gonna try to hit some of the stretches and see if we can't come up with a fish. This snow around the river is sketchy. I'm just sinking up to my knees right now. All right, there's a rock under me. So I'm gonna make one cast here and I'm gonna get out because it's gonna be tough to land a fish here within reason. It's tough because when my jig hits ice that's floating down, it jumps out of the water, which is not ideal. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think this is better than fishing that stained stuff out east, but I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna hike miles down this river to fish 5 spots. So I jumped in my car because that ice was just gnarly to deal with. I'm just gonna go down this road, the Pyramid Trail, Tahoe Pyramid Trail, and go see if I can't get something in some of these pools down here. If you're thinking about coming up to the mountains, you might want to wait a little bit because it is not easy to get off of the road and pull off. I mean, it can be done, but there's really nowhere to park. And it's really there's a lot of snow fell. The river. This is gonna be it today, I think. either I figure out how to catch something down here or I'm done. Because I don't know how much longer I can battle this. I can't feel my feet. I gotta get my feet into the water. That'll thaw them out because it's so cold, but let's go see if we can catch fish. Get up to my waist. Look how deep I'm sinking. And it's one of those things where you can bring snowshoes, but that might not be the best idea, because once you get up next to the water, then you got stuff strapped to your feet. So I'm just gonna fight it out. Ice in the water, but oh well. This is gonna be what it is. If I have to get a fish, I'm gonna have to break through this ice to land it. There's this sheet of ice along the bank. That's always a party. And I want to work this jig along this ice sheet because sometimes fish will just be hanging out just under that edge. And if they see this jig swim by, they'll go for it. There's just too much ice up here. I'm gonna head east, I think. I was gonna wrap it up, but I think I got some fishing left in me, so let's go see what it looks like. So before giving up for the day, I came down to Mayberry Park, which is just down the road a little ways. And I'm just gonna see if I can get something here. The sun's off the water, so let's see if I can pull a fish out of this river here. I made a cast and I had a nice flash right where I could see it in this shade still with my Polaroids. And it was a rainbow. I saw it was really pink. So there's something there, there's fish here. But a lot of times when those fish hit this, go for this jig once, that's all you're gonna get. And I'm working my way around this ice over here because the river's not too crazy, but the water's really clear up here, which is more than you could say for downstream. Maybe it cleaned up down by McCarran Ranch and stuff. I hope so. But this is a lot more tame than that Truckee was over in that other spot. Because that was just, man, that was brutal. 22. It's a rainbow. Beautiful looking fish. If I can land him. There it is. That's a brown. First fish of 2022 is a brown trout. Let's get over out on the other side of this ice. Take a look at him. I got to get over here and get my hands wet. There he is. That's a nice brown trout right there. Hard fighting fish, beautiful colors, and he's back out there. And yeah, my jig fell right out. As you can see, this jig I'm using is beat to death. Gosh, I got water on my stuff when I got that fish, and now everything is all iced up on me because it's getting late. There's still some good sunlight. I'm just in this big shaded hill, but it is getting cold, man. It's probably down into the 20s. You can see there's still good sunlight over there, but my gear is freezing up. I'm having to stop and clear ice from my eyes on my rod about every 3 casts. I gotta stop, pick the ice out. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be picking ice out of my pole. Well, that's gonna do it. It started out in California, and it was just too much snow and too much ice floating. When my jig would hit the ice, it would pop out of the water. And it ended at Mayberry Park. And I have another clip from Mayberry Park. It's on either my Truckee River Streak playlist or my Rivers playlist. I did a really nice brown up farther. But that was a nice brown, and I'll take it. The first fish of 2022. And I originally wanted to drive up and see what Boca looked like, Boca Reservoir, to see how bad the snow was. But I saw enough to see, like, below Farad at those dirt turnouts that they barely even plowed anything. So it's going to be slow going getting back into the mountains, I think. So I have some stuff planned that's a little bit farther away. Hopefully I can get some good fishing in for you on my YouTube and my Patreon this week. This water is really clear, so I don't know what it's going to be like if I try to go out east later this week. We'll just have to see. But whatever. All I got to say is to my Patreon subscribers, to my YouTube subscribers, for Wilderness with Amani, Happy New Year. I got my New Year fish. I didn't get skunked. It was tough going. I spent most of the day sinking in snow and trying to battle the ice, and there's ice all on the edges of the river. But, you know, I worked a fish out of it, and it's time to go home, get warm. It's in the 20s, but the cold's really starting to cut in, so I'm going to call it a day. So Happy New Year from the Truckee in Nevada. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.